Hey guys, my name's Jeff, and I'm coming to you from my basement today with a little review around overall wireless technology as we head into 2025. So if you're like me and you've watched one of the thousands of videos that exist right now on the S25 Ultra review, that's kind of what sparked me wanting to do this kind of a video. So I could tell you personally, I have the S25 Ultra, so my conversation today is going to be based on someone who's been now using that device for about a week. I'm also coming from a OnePlus 13R, and then prior to that, as I'm filming on today, my iPhone 15 Pro, that's the previous phone I was using. Before that, I had a 14 Pro Max, another great device. And then prior to that, I was an Android user from pretty much the Galaxy S2 up until the 22 Ultra. I can tell you that my venture into wireless technology goes way back to the lovable Nokias with the replaceable front faceplates and being able to change your ringtones to something super exciting, like 2-bit crap quality, up until something now, where I can have a whole soundtrack playing. It's amazing. But I can tell you, prior to Android, I was a very avid BlackBerry user. I miss my BlackBerry. I even tried buying the Clicks keyboard case for my iPhone. Just not the same nostalgia that I remember from using my device, but still it was a really nice item to come out to the market to make people like me feel a little more at home. I also had great experience using the Palm Treo series back when BlackBerry had push email, and then other companies are starting to adapt it. You can use a Treo and use Good and have good messaging on your phone, which gave you push email. And then the iPhone came to market, and when that happened, I was actually an employee at AT&T, and I was there for the launch of the iPhone. And even when it came out, I still didn't use it. I stuck true to my Android and Windows and Palm OS and BlackBerry roots and kind of stayed in that market up until adapting to the S2. So my last BlackBerry phone was the Torch. And looking back from then till now, we've really come a long way in a really short span of time. And I think as we hit the market now, you're not looking at these massive upgrades that we used to see yearly. A lot of this is incremental. And when you're looking at major companies in the US like Apple and Samsung, there's not a lot of competition that exists. So when you don't have competition, you're going to get these spec bumps, and then you're going to spend $1,300 for a device that might be very minor changes to what you already had. So if I was coming from an S24 Ultra and then upgrading the 25, would I have been disappointed? It's a really good question to ask. If I'm buying the phone outright and I'm not getting it as a discount through my carrier, then yeah, I would probably have some pretty solid quips to it. But this was a little different scenario. The way that I acquired this 25 Ultra was through AT&T. I've been with them for a couple of years now. I've got 5 lines. They were offering some really good pre-launch deals on it. So I picked up a Galaxy S3 for $22 on eBay. Use that as a trade-in for $1,000 off of this device. So that means I'm spending a couple bucks a month. I added the extra $10 for my next upgrade option. So after 12 months, I can upgrade to another phone. And for me, that makes it kind of worth it. Whereas if I'm buying it straight outright with no discounts, then no, I don't think it necessarily would have been worth it. But I could tell you some of the important features that I'm seeing, and this is important because I'm doing my little review on the 25 Ultra first, because it's going to tie into the other devices that I've been using and that I'm seeing on the market. So I could tell you I'm a big fan of the cameras when it comes to Samsung quality. Their camera array is beautiful. Screen technology is another amazing item. The build quality, you're getting a decent phone. I get it that maybe Apple went first with the titanium, but I like how Samsung did it. I'm a big fan of being able to have a black back and titanium finish on the sides, like it really matters. It's in a case anyways, but knowing that it's there was something that I really appreciated. My first foray into the titanium phone market was with the 15 Pro. I'm filming this on a 15 Pro. Great phone, beautiful quality, very well made. But on the Apple side, I don't think that they have as much customization that you can do on other phones that exist in the market right now. So I know that they definitely gave us more options more recently, but I can get a lot more out of some of these other brands. So on the Samsung side, I'm getting things that we're all used to at this point. Deep blacks, vibrant colors, good cameras, fantastic fingerprint reader. Even the face unlock has been pretty good for me. super fast unlock, on Face. I don't have any issues there. I've watched a couple detailed Flossie Carter reviews. Flossie's my guy when it comes to his reviews. If you got a couple hours and a glass of Crevassier, you can have a really good evening when it comes to watching his stuff. Great content that he puts out, and I agree with a lot of the things he's saying. The one thing, though, that I wanted to bring up that I find important is when it comes to some of the competitors out there, there's a lot of options that exist now. And when I'm looking at some of these brands, the Vivos, the Oppos, the Xiaomis, the Huaweis, even the Sonys, fucking Sony without the, even the cable in the box anymore, there's some really good options out there. And right before I got this phone, I picked up a great deal on the OnePlus 13R. One of the few phones that comes with a beautiful cable inside, comes with a charger, and not just any charger, it's a super fast charger. And then you're getting a device that, like my Samsung, it's very flat. I don't have crazy curves on it. It's a well-made phone, a lot of great features, but what's the biggest difference? $1,299, $599. So at $600, I personally thought the 13R was an absolute steal. Now take that $599 and you get a $100 trade-in credit, but you don't actually trade anything in. It was just based on recycling a phone. So now I'm paying $499. And then because I bought this as a pre-launch, I got a pair of buds for free. I sold those on eBay, so that's another $100 off. So now I'm down to $599 to $499, down to $399, and then $30 off as a new user, $369.99 plus tax. So for $370 compared to $1,300, you've got a pretty big difference there. Now, feature-wise, that's where things get a little muddier. So if I were to just buy this phone, on paper, I'm seeing some great specs, but I'm also looking at all the stuff that was missing. Now, would I say that this 13R was in fact a mid-range phone? No, it's a mid-range phone based on price. The fact that it doesn't come with wireless charging, not a deal breaker. The fact that it comes with a single cell and not a dual cell battery like the 13, again, not a deal breaker because it's still a super fast charging phone, way faster than the S25 Ultra. It's a 6,000 milliamp hour battery compared to 5,000. Screen size is almost identical. As far as the Gorilla Glass technology, yeah, it's the 7i. It's not the Armor 2, but I keep them in a case anyway. So, what's the difference really matter? I've got a case and a screen protector on everything that I ever use. I would otherwise break it in a matter of a week. So price-wise, you're getting something that's a really good competitor. This is what I would consider a flagship killer when you're looking at overall specs. Value-wise, this is a good deal. And when you look at some of these other brands that exist now, seeing these Chinese phones start to flood the market, Vivo, Xiaomi, Oppo, Huawei, all these phones have amazing features now where you can get cutting edge screen technology, 10-bit instead of 8-bit, which might not really be perceptible to the eye, but knowing that you have it, I guess, is sometimes half the story. Crazy cameras that are starting to really smoke what used to be the best cameras on the market from Samsung, as well as amazing battery technology, fast charging, and just really good looking devices overall. Now you've got something to really throw some competition into the mix. And I think the competition is what's going to keep these vendors on their toes. If nobody's really fighting against people like Samsung, nobody's really fighting against the iPhones of the world, then guess what? You're going to get spec bumps every year. Nothing's going to really be cutting edge or breaking besides maybe some really beautiful new software. Outside of that, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck when you look at some of these other brands. The reason why I didn't stick with the 13R, though, is something way more specific. At least on AT&T, and I can't speak to other carriers, you get locked down into the phones that they carry because certain features aren't going to be available anymore. So for me, the deal breaker ended up being no Wi-Fi calling through AT&T. Unfortunately, in my home, I don't have good phone service, so all my calls pretty much go to voicemail unless I have Wi-Fi calling available. So that was a pretty big frustration. It's something I was unaware of until after I had the device, which is why this one's going on eBay now and why I upgraded to the 25 Ultra. So if you don't have that problem, then there's some really good decisions you can make when it comes to not getting locked into a contract and be able to really try out the whole gamut of technology that exists. So my personal recommendation is, from what I've taken from other videos that I've watched, it's okay to venture out and try something different. You don't have to be on the same manufacturer or even the same carrier forever. Give yourself opportunity and options, and you can really try something new. And I could tell you, I've been a Samsung fanboy for a long time. They make beautiful hardware. They have a lot of great features. But outside of those features, you're getting a lot of that now on these other manufacturers. You know, 1.7 UI, beautiful operating system. It's a nice overlay on traditional Android. I think that they do a great job with it. But Oxygen OS on my OnePlus, you know, felt even faster. So feature-wise, you can really try something different, and you'd be surprised with the bang for the buck that you're going to get. So I look forward to being able to chat with you guys more in the future. Feel free to ask any questions. You know, my biggest hobby is playing with technology. You know, if anybody were to ask me, hey, what do you like to do? What are you doing on your vacation this week? Oh, you know, I'm going to hit the gym. I like to ride my bike. Big fan of sports, you know, Super Bowl coming up and watching some good football and ice hockey. I don't know. None of that's actually true. My biggest hobbies is definitely doom scrolling on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and, you know, social media. That's kind of my fun, and playing with new tech as it comes out. So, not something I'm ashamed of, you know, because at the end of the day, it's fun and it's an exciting market right now to try all this stuff out. So get at me with any questions, and I'll gladly make another video if there's something you guys want to see specifically. All right. Thanks for checking me out. Take care, guys.